Sorry, guys, there's less dancing this year. You dance from the arms, from the shoulders up. Thank you so much, Ariana. Thank you so much, everybody. As you all know, regulars at South Summit, we've had sustainability, climate tech, energy transition, agriculture and food core of our program in recent years. We know the urgency. It's market opportunity is what we see, and we believe that these transitions cannot happen without the entrepreneur at the core, really part of that conversation. I think you guys also have that pretty clear. And now, unfortunately, we're actually living it right now this year. South Summit as a company is living the catastrophe of climate change and climate catastrophe through our sister and our brothers and sisters in Porto Alegre and Rio Grande do Sul for South Summit Brazil as our Latin American edition. And we were right there. We had the most amazing third edition at the end of March, 24,000 people right across Latin America. Very similar vibes and creativity and innovation. Hugely hopeful, massive market opportunities. And 4 weeks later, devastating floods. They're now 6 weeks still underwater. So we're making as much noise as we can about it here in Madrid and across Europe with the platform that we have, both to raise funds. So as Ariana said, please donate everything you can, personally, professionally, through the corporates, as an individual, through the fundraising campaign that we've launched, but also here just highlighting the solutions, right? So we've been highlighting these solutions for years, and I think now we're just feeling the urgency to let's get these things to market. And this is why we are so happy to partner with organizations like your own. Welcome, Nicola, to Madrid. Welcome to South Summit.
Thank you.
A South Summit first-timer?
Yeah.
But not alone, because Enel and, of course, here from Endesa they're basically co-founders of South Summit. You guys have been here right since the beginning. In recent years, we've taken a much bigger push looking at sustainability, climate, but we've had a specialized energy transition track here for about 5 or 6 years, which is a pretty long time in comparison to other tech conferences. And hand in hand with you guys, we've been walking this journey in terms of what are the roles the entrepreneurs can play in helping you accelerate this transformation and bringing new products and services even to the market. So Nicola is 24 years with Enel, so you got another place inside out like an absolute pro, now leading up the group as Global Head of Innovation. It's amazing the evolution you guys have done on innovation over time. And Enel is, of course, biggest utility in Europe by EBITDA, which is what really matters, right? And one of the biggest renewable energy providers in the world. So as we would say in Madrid, chapeau, you know what I mean? You're nailing that in terms of timing and market demand and something that's so urgently needed, I guess. So I'll shut up and hear from you, Nicola. Tell us one thing I do want to mention, which I think is absolutely incredible as a utility. You guys have made incredibly ambitious commitments around transformation to net zero, to be net zero by 2040. This is 10 years ahead of everybody else, considering what they're doing, coming from the energy sector. That is deeply ambitious. People like Salesforce are like, we are net zero. Okay, they're a software company. To be that ambitious early on has been very brave, I must say. So I commend you on that. And how is that going? What are the challenges you guys are facing to kind of make that commitment and that strategic goal a reality?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Very pleased to be here today. And regarding this transition, how is it going? Is it going? Is it happening? Okay. And just to give you a number, in the first quarter of this year, 80% of our energy production was carbon-free.
Wow.
That's just to give us. So it is not an ambition, it's something that is real. And this is happening with two main drivers. The first is electrification of energy consumption of our customers. And the second is decarbonization of our power generation fleet. Okay, so these are the two main tracks that we are carrying on in parallel. We have presented our industrial plan last November. So we are planning to invest approximately 36 billion euros in the coming 3 years. Half of them, more than half, will be on grids. That is something very important. Grids are an enabler of this transition. And they are an enabler because they provide carbon-free electric energy to customers to electrify their consumptions. And they are also an enabler because they host renewable capacity. So they allow new renewable capacity to connect and to provide decarbonized energy. So that's why we are going to invest more than half of our CapEx in this sector in the coming years. And this requires a lot of innovation because the grids, to be able to do this, will require a lot of improvements and a lot of innovations. And this is the first field. The other field is renewables. Wind, onshore, solar, and storage. That is the other important player in this story. Okay? And we will continue to grow in renewables in a more selective way, but still investing in changing the carbon footprint of our generation fleet to zero carbon. And this result of the first quarter, 80% of energy generated by carbon-free sources is a big result that we see now, and we will continue on this path. This will require a lot of innovation because, unfortunately, the environment where this transition is happening is not constant, it's changing. So we see changes in geopolitical relationship that have a lot of impact in our business. We see a big change in what is happening around us. No one could imagine a pandemic, no one could imagine an energy crisis, no one could imagine two wars around us, and all these factors are changing the macroeconomic fundamentals. So this makes the challenge more difficult, but also exciting. And there is another big change that is happening in parallel. You mentioned it. Is climate change. Climate change is the problem we want to solve, but it's also a phenomenon that is representing a challenge in the challenge. Climate change is impacting a lot our assets. We have floods in 1 year in Italy what we didn't experience it in the past 10 years. And this means to be able to manage emergencies. And this needs a lot of innovation, change in processes, in models, and in technology to be integrated in our assets. So that's what is happening, and I think that innovation is going to play a key role in this change.
Yeah, for sure. It's really incredible, isn't it? I mean, on one hand, you guys make extremely ambitious goals, and congratulations, 80%, that's incredible, from renewable sources this year. That's a massive achievement in itself. But then you've made a brave commitment, but thrown straight into a really complex context, right? And you've mentioned a bunch of these points, which makes it so much more challenging. The irony that the climate itself is attacking the infrastructure that you're trying to upgrade, you know what I mean, is kind of slowing down the process, I guess, as you want to run. So it's ever becoming more challenging, but I guess it just kind of drives you on to the ever more obvious the need, you know, to make that transition. So you mentioned, and I think this was incredible about Enel, so you're energy producing, you operating the grid, and then of course a retail part of the business. What is the role more specifically that innovation is playing in terms of bringing all that down to a zero carbon offer? What are the types of technologies that you're looking at, the type of companies that you're collaborating with? You know, what do you feel confident with that we can you know, empower this up internally, or we might need some external and open innovation collaboration on some of these elements? How do you manage that? How are you integrating innovation into the process of that transition?
I think there is a key word that represents what innovation requires to achieve in order to create an impact and be effective, that is speed. We need speed because we have a limited time to solve the challenge we have in front of us. We need speed because the environment around us is changing very quickly. Okay? So this is a big challenge that requires collaboration. No one alone can solve this challenge alone. So when people ask me, is better open innovation or closed innovation? Well, I don't think there is an answer. It depends on the context. And the context in where we are to collaborate is absolutely needed. It's not an option. It's a requirement. And so open innovation is something we started approaching approximately 10 years ago. We did a lot of improvements in our process. And basically means to work together with many different players. Okay? That can be small, medium enterprises, startups, big companies, our vendors, our employees, our customers, academia, everyone that can give us an help and a contribution in the challenge we have to solve. And the value of that is that if you share the challenge, you are quicker, but you also share the risk of the challenge. That is also something you have to manage in this world. Okay? Is open innovation creativity? Is open innovation only the structured and open environment where everyone can contribute? No, open innovation is something that requires strong process and a strong structure to be managed. Because you have to manage a lot of opportunities you are in contact with and to select the good ones for what you need to solve, for the problem you need to solve. And this requires a lot of process, a lot of structure, not unstructured. And in this way, we have developed some tools we use. I want to give you just some examples. We have an open platform where we publish our challenges and ask the ecosystem, made of more than 500,000 players, to propose solutions. Okay? We published in the last years more than 200 challenges, 40 challenges only in the last 2 years, receiving more than 15,000 possible solutions. So that's the first tool. The second tool is to be present where innovation happens. It's key. Innovation is not something that happens in a single place, it's something that happens globally. And so you need to be where innovation happens. And so we decided to open what we call innovation hubs, that are basically antennas with some people, smart guys, that are able to intercept opportunities, players, possible partners for us. We have a couple of them in the United States. We have one here in Madrid. We have one in Italy. We have one in Israel. So places where innovation happens or where we want to develop also innovation. That's another part. The third part and the third tool that I want to mention is innovation with vendors. It's key. Vendors in this new era are not just suppliers of solutions, but are co-developers of solutions. There is a different approach and a different engagement. So we both invest in innovative solutions, sometimes transporting a solution from one sector to another sector without reinventing the wheel, both investing in what we do. Okay? So it's a different interaction that is much more effective and much more productive respect to the previous model that is, I have a standard product, I sell it, you have to buy it.
Yeah.
Okay? That's important. What I want to say is that innovation, to be a real innovation, needs to create an impact. That's my mantra. Okay? And what do you need in a big company to create an impact? Is first of all to focus on the right challenges. So to understand the problem, not just to follow what people tell you, but to listen to what people tell you, integrate the information coming from different parts, inside and outside the organization, and define the challenge in the proper way. The same a company that produces a product has to do in order to assess the market and the potential customers. If you do not start from the right challenge, you work a lot without any result, unfortunately. So this is the first step. The second step is exposition to the ecosystem. To find the right solution, you need to see many different options. Okay? So every year, for example, we evaluate more than 2,000 possible solutions every year in Enel. This comes from different players, even our employees, of course. And then you have to be selective. Once you have the challenge, you have the possible solutions, you have to choose the good ones for you. And this is key. Be selective. Develop a proof of value. That means a first quick application to demonstrate the value of the solution, especially if it is very new, because you have to convince the company to invest. And then comes the toughest part, that is to transfer the results to the business, because it is the part where big money needs to be invested. They scale up. And how do you reach this? Through engagement. So you need to have all the stakeholders engaged in all the different phases of this funnel. Not at the end, when you have the solution, but since the beginning, since the evaluation of the challenge, since the proof of value, every part of this process has to be shared and has to be participated. And this is why innovation culture is key. A company cannot do innovation only with tools, can do innovation if there is a culture pervading the company that allows people to feel free to participate, to propose, and also to recognize failures. This is key. Failure is part of our job. We have to recognize, we have to learn, and we have to continue. It's not a problem, it's a way to improve.
Yeah, no, you get to learn and refine the process then again a bit more, I guess. What's been really nice to see accompany you guys and a lot of different big innovative businesses on this journey through 13 years of South Summit is to watch how you guys have, refine the process so much because it is so complicated. But now you have such level of detail and granularity and experience of working with all these different types of innovative companies. And it's a joy to see the corporates understand better and better the type of profile of startup and technology that they can work with, the type of company that they can successfully integrate into their own business and then eventually scale it out to market. So it's refreshing to see that, and I guess that process can get quicker and quicker just as we need it, you know what I mean, to integrate solutions into that process when we need it most. We have a huge focus, of course, always on climate tech and energy transition at South Summit, but this year in particular is human by design, as we're looking at this new next generation of technologies that we want to successfully integrate into society and make it work for everybody. So what are your thoughts about that in terms of as you're designing products for your customer base? And I know there's a retail element to the business as well, but how do you keep customer at the center of, with such urgent needs and such technological challenges, how do you ensure that these changes are working for the customer, let's say, in terms of improving their lives?
Yeah, you touched on a very important point, that is humans. Humans are at the center of this process. Innovation happens thanks to humans, people that engage, people that participate, people that are part of this game, people that are able to risk in this game, to put their faces. And innovation happens because there is someone that is typically the customers that is interested in what has been developed. Okay? So humans are at the center. And when I refer to customer, I do not mean only the customer outside the company. They are often customer inside the company. Most of the innovation we do are for our employees to increase their well-being in doing the job they do. And I want to give you just a few examples on how technology can impact the humans. For example, in the renewable part of our company, we have developed a tool that is an assistant, a virtual assistant, that is quite common in our houses, but it's not common in industrial environments, that support our people working in control rooms, managing thousands of assets, in taking decisions. Yeah. Okay? So they can do decisions supported by these tools in a quicker way and be more confident of what they do. Okay? So this is a way to simplify their jobs, but it is also the way to increase the efficiency of our processes and products. So do things with lower efforts and in a lower time.
Yeah.
Okay?
Excellent.
So the other part is customers. So listening from customers, anticipating their needs, understanding what do they expect, and offering them what they need. That's something that is key. And again, technologies, if I look to capability to analyze images taken from satellites, can give us a lot of information in order to understand according to what are our customer behaviors, where do they live, what they need, and to offer them exactly what do they need.
I love the approach that you're looking at the external and the internal customer, and it's really about improving everybody's life around that. Nicola, I would love to go way deeper, but we're totally out of time, and I have colleagues on either side of me waving flags. So unfortunately, we will have to cut it short there, but thank you so much for being with us, and congratulations. It's amazing, again, to see how you guys are evolving over time and improving the process and accelerating the process. It's incredible. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much for inviting me.